Hey guys, Mark with Think Insurance, helping you guys understand your insurance policy so you can save time and money. Today we're going to talk about Coverage B. This is other structures. If you guys haven't already watched Coverage A, go ahead and go back. I'll put the link below to the series that we're doing, which is going to go through an entire home policy. So Coverage B is other structures. It's essentially anything that's not connected to the house. This can sometimes include pools, fences, sheds. These are additional pieces. The normal amount of coverage that you're gonna get is 10% of A. And as you guys saw in the previous video, we calculated coverage A up to $180,000 in our scenario. Well, that means that I'm gonna get 10% of that coverage. So I'm gonna have $18,000 for other structures. It just typically comes with an insurance policy. This is to protect you if there's any wind or hail damage or something comes through and ruins your gazebo or your fence or shed or anything that's on your property. Normally, it's not necessarily claimed on its own, although it can be. It's something that you typically have a major loss in the home, and then you're doing this in addition to that. Now, Coverage B does not actually cover items in the other structures. So if we're talking about tools in a separate garage or tools in a shed, that's actually a different coverage, which we're going to get into in this series. You also are allowed to raise that limit. So if you have limits that you want to go higher and higher, that's allowed. You can really go as high as 50%, and some companies go even higher than that. You don't typically need that much unless you have a pole barn. If you have a large 50,000 or more plus cost of a pole barn, then you may want to raise that limit. When you get into those specific buildings, especially if you're more of like the farm situation where you're not necessarily farming, but you're living on the land and you want that all protected, that piece you can add in additional endorsements beyond the Coverage B. We're going to get into the endorsements near the end of this series, so that gives you an idea of what options you have. Now, the other part that a lot of people ask, and it's every once in a while, I'd say about 10% of the people want to know, well, my shed's falling over, it's rotted, it's broken. Can I exclude that? Some companies, yes. Most companies, no. In most situations, they want to make sure that the whole property has no liability risk. They're not necessarily caring about the building itself, and that's why a lot of companies, or some of the companies, do offer that. It just depends on which company that you're going to go with. Next up, we're going to talk about personal property, which is Coverage C. So go ahead and click the video here to move forward. Go ahead and click it. It's right there. Coverage C. It's important.